Welcome to my channel. My name is Sue, and today I'm offering up something a little different. Have you ever wanted to do yoga and you're hanging out with your family on the couch, but you don't really want to roll out your yoga mat, but you still want to stretch out a little? I do find myself in that situation quite a bit, and I still do manage to sneak in some yogas. So I thought I'd share with you what I do. I usually start off in a comfortable seated position. My favorite way to sit is cross-legged, one shin in front of the other, or crisscross applesauce. And I usually have my back a little bit away from the back of the couch. However, if you want to just uncross your legs and have your feet hanging off the couch, you can certainly do that. So the first thing you want to do is to warm up the spine, just warm up the body just a little bit, and it's good to warm up those big muscles. So let's start off with some Sufi rolls, upper body rolling in a circular movement. So whether or not you're seated with the legs hanging down or in a cross-legged position, easy pose, just start to circle the upper body. It doesn't have to be much, just slight movement here. You can pretty much stick to your own space. Start to incorporate your breath to this movement. Try to take a full breath to complete a circle. And switch directions. Good, and then come on back to the center, seated tall. You can always switch those legs around. And we'll start off with a side stretch. So place your right hand on the knee or on the couch, and take your left hand and reach it up towards the ceiling. And then reach as tall as you can and lean towards the opposite side. And all we're looking here is for a nice length through that side of the body. If you have the space, you can go a little deeper. One more deep breath. And inhale, come on back up, and same thing on the other side. Take that right hand, reach it up and over. Again, it doesn't have to be much. You can just look for length and then tilt over. One more deep breath. And inhale back to the middle. Reach those arms overhead, finding lots of length through the spine, and then twist towards the right side. Allow your left hand to just touch the opposite leg. And then just enjoy this twist. Try not to force into it, just keep it gentle. Inhale, come on back up to the center. Place the palms together. Keep the biceps close to the ears and let the palms drop down towards your back. So go as far as comfortable until you get that stretch without letting the elbows splay out too much, and to try to keep them as parallel as you can to one another. Inhale, reach those arms overhead, and then take a spinal twist, soft gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale, come on back to the center, interlace your fingers, press the palms out in front of you with a big inhale, stretch those arms overhead, tilt slightly over to one side. Inhale back to center and over to the other side. Inhale, come on back to the center. Release your hands behind your backs. Interlace the fingers with the palms facing one another. And then start to press the hands slightly away from the body. You might have to lean forward. Be very careful as you do that. Just want to get a little bit of a stretch through the shoulders. You can even, if the couch is not too far away from you and you can rest your hands on the back of your couch, you can even do that and sit a little taller that way. Careful not to jam into the shoulders. Okay, one more deep breath here. And then release and soften. All right. And now we're going to interlace the fingers in front of us once again and press the palms out once again, reaching those arms overhead. And then let the elbows play out, palms facing forward. Gently cup the back of the head. So you're going to keep it gentle here. As you exhale, you're going to round up the spine and arch the back. Bring the elbows in towards one another, but refrain from tugging into the back of the head. You want to keep it very gentle. And then inhale to expand those arms. Try lifting the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then exhale. Inhale, open up. Exhale. One more time. Great. Exhale. And then release, allow the arms to just relax back down by your sides. We're going to start to warm up the neck a little bit more. You can come back into cross-legged if you like. I'm just going to stretch my legs out. Turn your gaze over to one shoulder, roll the chin down towards the chest and all the way over to the other side. And just a little bit like that, warm up the back of the neck. And coming back to the center, turn your gaze forward and allow the left shoulder to drop down towards the left ear. And just, you can stay right here, or if you want a little bit more, you can walk that right hand away from the body. You can even use your opposite hand to deepen the stretch, but be very mindful as you do this, be very careful. One more deep breath. All right, inhale, come on back to the center. Same thing on the other side. And then come on back to the middle. And you can have your back right up against the back of the couch here and straighten the legs out in front of you. You can do this one at a time. Okay, if you have a hard time lifting both legs up, you have your hands beside you. And just for a moment, press the heel away from the body. And then point the toes. Okay, one more of those. And then point the toes. Now, if you can, you're going to bring the right heel in towards the right hip and look for a little bit of a quadricep stretch here. And you can release the other foot down if you want, okay? Or you can keep it straight out in front of you, up to you. If this doesn't feel right, you can always take more of a cobbler's pose instead. It gives you a different stretch. So half cobbler's pose, just let that right knee drop open. And you can keep that right leg stretched out, the left leg stretched out, or relax it. Okay. And we'll just hold it here for a moment, wherever you are. You can sit a little taller. If you have the space, you can even lean back just a little bit. You can stay right here or reach those arms overhead. And again, just reach those hands overhead and take a little bit of a side stretch. One side, come back to the center and over to the other side. And then come on back to the middle, release the hands and stretch both legs out in front of you. Give the ankles, again, a little bit of movement here. Maybe rolling them out, rotating them in one direction and then the next. And point and flex the feet. Again, just sitting as tall as you can. Hands can be by your side to brace you in staff pose. And we'll switch the legs around again. Half heroes pose if you can. If you can't bring the foot into that position, just take this half cobbler's pose, head to knee pose variation. Again, just seat it tall for a moment here and see how that feels. You want to try to keep the thighs parallel to one another. Feels nice to do this on a soft cushion actually. If you normally can't come into half heroes pose, this is a good alternative. And again, if you have the room, you can lean back a little just to lengthen out a little bit more to the front of the body. Good. And usually when I'm here, I can relax a little bit. And come on back up to seated. Stretch those arms overhead, palms together or not, doesn't matter, but you can lean slightly over to one side. Come back to the center and lean over to the opposite side. One side always feels a little bit strange. Good. And come on back to the center and release. Lean over to one side so that you can stretch those legs out, a little bit of movement. Rolling out the ankles, point and flex the feet. Good. And now let's come into cobblers pose. So the feet together and let those knees open up. You can stay upright or very gently round the spine and let the chin tuck in. A good place here to hang out quite a bit. Usually try to spend about 5 breaths here, at least. Inhale to come back up to seated and then bring those knees in together and stretch those legs out again. And this next pose is our figure 4 or pigeon pose modification. You can bring that right ankle, keep that right foot flexed and place it on top of your left thigh. So sometimes the knee is hiked up here, that's fine. And you're just going to, without using your hands, you're just going to use your leg muscle to press that knee open and deepen the hip stretch. Okay, so just staying right here, you can have your hands help you sit upright. Sometimes I just do this when I'm waiting around in the waiting room as well, or when I'm waiting for a doctor's appointment or another kind of appointment. I'm doing this in public. Just looks like I have my legs crossed. And you can also lean forward. You can lean back a little. Sometimes I like to rotate my upper body, so you can try that. All these little things you can try. If I'm at home, sometimes I will even lift that front foot up and lean back into the couch. You can hang out here and watch TV. Take one more deep breath. Okay, and then let's release that and cross the legs. Just give that a little bit of movement again. Just wiggle out those toes, rotate the ankles, and then we'll switch directions. Switch to the other side. So you have your left ankle propped up against your right thigh. Keep that left foot flexed. So start off seated up. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And then you're going to perhaps take a little bit of intuitive movement, leaning off to one side and the other, or circular movement, just kind of exploring areas of tightness. And if you find anything, you can just hang out there a little longer. Important to take those deep breaths and long exhales here. And if you want a little bit more, if you're at home and you can prop that right foot up against the couch and lean back into the cushion, you can do that as well and just hang out here. Deep breaths again. One more deep breath. And then uncross your legs. And again, just a little bit of movement. The next thing we're going to do is to take a spinal twist, and this is going to try to come a little deeper, move a little deeper into our spinal twist. So take the left foot and place it to the outside of the right thigh. And if you're able to tuck that right foot in, you'll do so. If that hurts your knee, then keep that leg straight out. And we're going to rotate towards the left side, use your right arm to wrap around that left knee, and then you can even use the back of your couch to very gently deepen the stretch for you. Take that one more deep breath. And then rotate back to the front. You can stay right here or roll all the way to the opposite side for a bow. And then we're going to come back up and switch those legs around. Again, if that hurts the knee, keep it straight or relaxed. And then we're rotating towards the back. If you have your couch that's not too high, the back of your couch, you can use it to deepen the stretch as well. Just a little bit of leverage. Again, being very mindful as you do this. Come back to the front and then stay there or rotate all the way to the opposite side. And then come on back to the front and cross the legs and give that a little bit of movement. And the last thing I like to do here is kind of like a shoelace eagle arms combo. So bring the right knee and cross it over the left, and you try to slide the knees in as close as you can to one another. Now you can keep that leg hanging, that left leg hanging off like that. Just keep that left leg hanging off the couch or tuck it in. Try to line up those knees as best as you can, squeeze those thighs in towards one another, and then bring the left elbow under the right, coming into eagle arms. So if you can't bring your hands together, you can always grab opposite shoulders or press the backs of the hands together. Eagle arms, relax the shoulders. Just staying right here is fine. I like a little bow forward, gently rounding the spine. If this hurts your back or if you have any back issues, you're better off seated upright. And come on back up, seated, uncross those arms. And we're going to lean back so that you can uncross the legs as well. Again, just a little bit of movement in between is encouraged. And when you're ready, you can take your shoelace legs on the other side. So you've got your left knee on top this time, right leg hanging off, or tucking that right foot in, and squeeze those thighs in close to one another. And this time you've got the right elbow under the left for eagle arms. Seated upright or very gently rounded forward. I'm just feeling that stretch of the back of the body, the shoulder blades drawing away from one another. Relax the face and deep breaths. And then come on back up and cross, unwind and cross, stretch it out, and that's it. I try to stand up once in a while, just rotate the hips a little, get a little bit of movement. Sometimes you'll see me hanging out on the couch and grabbing a big toe and just stretching that leg out and opening up a little. Okay, so a little bit of movement is good, a little bit of stretching out instead of just sitting down without movement. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's something a little different. It's just something that I like to do to de-stress and stretch out without having to throw out my yoga mat. So I hope that helps you too. Lots of other yoga classes available for you. Please just go ahead and browse my playlist. I have them all listed out for you. I have lots of other full yoga classes available for you. Just go ahead and browse my playlist and I have it all listed out for you. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day. Namaste.